Hi, my name is Ashish, and in this video, we will see how to create Azure VM using Azure Devops Pipeline. In just a few steps, we can provision Azure Virtual Machine using Resource Manager templates, and managing the pipelines for virtual machines in this way is considered as infrastructure as code and is very good DevOps practice. For this video, the template for creating the Azure VM must be checked into a version control repo. We'll place the code in Azure repo with the rest of the application code, and we'll publish it as a part of the build output. So first of all, let me log on to the portal and take it from there. All right, before we proceed further, I've launched Visual Studio 2019 and I'm gonna create a new project. So I'm gonna say create a new project in here, and I'm gonna name this project ARM, and then I'm gonna create it. It's gonna create a new project with this solution name. It's discovering the templates, get additional project templates. I'm going to create a new project here by clicking on File like this. File, New Project. Then I'm going to type Azure Resource Group. This one, Azure Resource Group 1. Click Create. It says show template from this location. Linux virtual machine scale set, web app, or if you would type in Windows Server Virtual Machine with Load Balancer, Windows Virtual Machine, you click on here. You select this template because you want to deploy it using Azure pipelines. Then you click on OK. It's going to configure this project for you. Let's wait. Now, when that is done, you're going to click on File, you're going to click on Add, and you want to add an existing project that you just created, right? So this is the name of the project that we are doing. This is the project. Okay, it's already member of the solution. Let me find it. Okay, so if you're not able to find it, you will click on View, and then you click on Solution Explorer, and then it will show you the references here. So it is my deploy Azure Resource Group.ps1 file, and it is the Windows Virtual Machine.json file. So as of now, this Windows Virtual Machine.json file is only deploying a simple virtual machine in my Azure environment. If you want to deploy additional resources, you can change the properties in Windows Virtual Machine.json file. So as of now, it is asking me for the username, password, DNS name. It's deploying 2012 R2 data center. Allowed values are this. I can add more values in here as well, right? And then these are the variables for my storage, VM size, virtual machine VNet, API version for the VNet. Then it's deploying different things with my virtual machine, and this is the parameter file. And you click on, and so these are the two files through which I enter the properties that I want. But the actual file which deploys the resources is this. So these are the values that it will ask the user to deploy. These are the parameter value template file. In the parameter file, the artifact staging directory, DSC folder, validate only resource group name. And then this is the deploy dot create a storage account name if none was provided. Create the storage account. Right. This is how you create a project. And now I want to commit these changes into my Azure repo Git. So I'm going to upload this code onto my Azure repo Git. So you see this option, add to source control. It says add this solution to your preferred source control system. So you click on it. I don't want to add it to Git. I want to add it to Azure repo. Right. So let me find a way to do that. Create a new project here. Deploy VM. Deploy Azure VM. In my Azure Devops. Get create it's going to create a new project here. Repos, import a repository from Git. So I'm going to upload it to, I go here, add to source control, add to Git. I'm sorry, when I said it's Git, it's using the Git, not the TFVC. Then I'm going to publish it to my Azure DevOps. It says you want to publish it to GitHub or you want to publish it to your, push it to your Azure DevOps services. I'm going to say publish Git repo here to my Azure DevOps. I'm going to select this. This is the account. Organization, repository name. I'm going to click on advanced. So it's going to create a new project from here. My first project. Okay. And it's going to give the repository name here. And if I go to this, it's going to do it here. And I'm going to click on advanced. So it shows my deploy Azure VM here because I selected the organization here. I'm going to click on publish repository. It's going to take some time and publish this code to my Azure DevOps account. It's pushing the branch to my Azure DevOps account. So if I go back to here, files, I will see that in some time here. Right. So I'm going to wait till it completes. It says Azure resource group 1 was pushed. If you want to see it on the web, it will take you to that directory. Here, master branch, repos, files. And now that if you would see my repos here in the files under this project and repo, I have synced up the code using the git push command to this repository. And so if I show you my project, I went into deploy Azure VM. this is my project, and if I go to repos, you would see under this repository, deploy Azure VM, I have the master branch. We can create more branches, and this is the code. This is the solution file. This is the Windows Virtual Machine.json file, parameters file. Whatever you could see on my local desktop has been synced through git push command on the Azure DevOps repo. So now if I go to my pipelines and I create my first build pipeline, my code is in Azure Repos Kit. I'm going to select the repository and I'm going to select the starter pipeline. So this is your Azure pipelines.yml. So for this, I'll move the cursor to the line after steps and I'll delete what is mentioned in existing. So I'll just do this, right? I come here like this, and I'm going to click on this option, Show Assistant, right? So it will list down the task pane, and I'm going to select ARM template, deployment. Here it is, right? Click on it. Then you get these options. So the deployment scope is the resource group under which I will deploy this VM using the Azure DevOps Pipeline. And I select my subscription to which I already have the connection. So I'll do authorize. Connection is the service connection that you create. So it will take few seconds and give me the authorization. It will load the name. I'll select it. Under the action, I'm going to select create or update resource group. So it does two actions. It will create a resource group if a new resource group name is not provided, and deploy the template specified. So in the resource group, enter a new resource group. For example, you can do, this is the one that it will create. So I can do Azure RM pipeline RG. So it will create a new resource group. Location, select a location for the resource group. For example, you can go with Central US, Canada Central, whatever you want to do. And under the template location, select linked artifact, which is this option, which means the task looks for the template file directly from the connected repo. And down here, you would have to type in the name of the location path of the JSON file. So if I go to here and go to this repo, I do this. This is my file, so I'll do Azure Resource Group 1 slash and the name of the JSON file, which is this. Windows Virtual Machine.json. Like this. And now this is the parameters file. If you want to leave this field blank, you will specify the parameters value in the override template parameters. So if I go with this file, so path would be this because it's in the same folder. All right. And if I would have left this field blank, template parameters, then I will specify the parameters value in the override template parameters. Like in the override template parameters, I can enter project name, link template URI. So I would have written like this. Project name. Project name is deploy Azure VM, like Azure VM, close it, and then you would have written linked template URI. And inside this, your template URI. And it would be this one, like this. Complete URI. But I've already specified the values here. So this does not matter. And in the deployment mode, I'll select incremental. Then I can add a task. So if I remove this one, I can select on add. So it had added the task. Now you see here, right? Deployment in the resource group. This is the subscription name, creator update. So if it's not there, it will create this resource group. And these are the parameters in the file, and the deployment mode is incremental. You can then review your YAML file. So if I'll do save and run, I'm committing directly to the master branch because I do not have any other branch. So let's see how it goes. This pipeline needs permission to access a resource before this can run continue. Okay. So I'm permitting because I created a service connection for some other project. If I would have used the same here, then it would have not set up this. Right. So it's initializing the job. It is, so it failed here. We'll see why it failed here. Resource group creating successfully, creating deployment parameters. Okay. ARM service connection deployment scope is subscription. Checking if the following resource group exists. Resource group does not exist because it says false. Creating resource group. Creating deployment parameters. Check out the troubleshooting guide to see if your issue is addressed here. Could not find any file matching the template file pattern. Okay. So it was not able to find the template file here. So what I'll do? So it failed. It was not able to create a VM. So I'll go back. What I'll do, I will edit this pipeline here. So it was not able to pick up this, the linked artifact, right? So I will again, I'll select this, delete it, come back. I'll do ARM template deployment. This one, creator update. So I'll select the name of the resource group here. Let me see if it created the resource group. So if I'll go here and refresh it, I'll do resource groups. See, it created the resource group, Azure RM Pipeline RG. So it means the service connection is working fine. It is just that my template file location was not. So this one, and it created in the Canada Central region. This template linked artifact. So I'll give URL of the file. So template link here. So it says to deploy a template stored in a private storage account, retrieve and include the shared access signature. To view the template parameters in a grid, click on this next to override template parameter text box. So this is the GitHub URL, right? But my template file is stored here. If I go to my this project, my template file is here, this PS1 file. So let me try it with this. I have made few changes. If you go back and if you would see the changes here, the last change I made was this, that I added these into the override parameters. I mentioned the username, password, and the DNS name and the Windows version. So let me see if this works or not. And if this doesn't, then we'll have to, it is still cute. If this doesn't deploy the VM, then I will make changes and work on fixing these errors. But you got the idea how you create a build pipeline and then create a VM. So it will create a build pipeline, it will publish the artifact, and then you can go and check inside the Azure portal. So if this doesn't work, I will use another repo, maybe on GitHub, and deploy another resource as well and try and get a good template to deploy this. So I hope you liked this video. If you have any queries, please mention them in the comment section, and I'll see you next video. Thank you. Have a good day.